Hey everybody, welcome back to Pitching Ninja's filthiest pitches of the day. Before we get to those pitches, remember, hit that subscribe button. I've noticed about half of y'all keep coming back and watching his videos but aren't subscribed yet. What are you waiting for? Join Ninja Nation, hit subscribe, and without further ado, here are my filthiest pitches of the day. I'm going to start with Robbie Ray, who had 8 Ks, and I'm pretty sure all 8 were on his slider. His slider starts out looking like a fastball and then just dives into the dirt. You can see why he can survive on just his fastball and his slider, because that is a deadly combo. Jesus Luzardo, the Jesus Lizard, had these wicked breaking balls. Hitters were only hitting 107 against his breaking ball. Shane Bieber was nasty yesterday with a combo of cutters, sliders, and his signature knuckle curve. When Bieber is on, he's so much fun to watch. He is like an artist on the bump. And here's a special present for y'all. Here's Shane Bieber's knuckle curve grip from his interview with me.
Try and keep I throw it like similar to a football. I try and keep this broadside of my wrist towards home plate. That way, I'm just thinking about the orientation of the ball when it comes out of my hand. I want it to spin end over end. Obviously, it doesn't come out that way just because when you're in live action, it's a little bit offset. But once it gets to the plate, I want it to have that like second break, so where it starts coming down, and then the best ones that I throw have been described to me as like they kind of have 2 breaks. So you start to see it go, and then you have that second break that just powers down.
Jose Berrios had 5 Ks, and check out these curveballs. Just filthy stuff. And when you overlay it with his fastball, you can see why hitters would have such a hard time. He also had this combo, which I really love, which is an elevated 4-seam fastball and then a 2-seam fastball that runs arm side. They start out looking the same, and then you can see that 2-seamer just veer off arm side. It's a nightmare for hitters because even if you have the velocity timed up, you don't have the location timed up. Miles Michaelis had 7 Ks, and look at these painted front door 2-seamers. Just beautiful. And then he had this curveball that froze beer. Frozen beer sounds good right now. Dane Dunning was dominant yesterday. Wow, that's an alliteration. He had 7 Ks and only gave up 1 run against the Braves. Merrill Kelly had 7 shutout innings and had this beautiful curveball. Look at that. Gerrit Cole had his 2nd straight dominant start. Look at these overpowering fastballs. Reports of Cole's demise, way premature. He's still one of the most dominant pitchers on the planet. Nasty Nate Eovaldi was nasty. I mean, look at these dirty splitters. What are you going to do with that? And then here's a 3-pitch overlay with his fastball, his splitter, and his slider. And you can see it form that triangle of death. That is a hitter's nightmare. Also in that game, John Tumpain, a.k.a. The Ripper, put Ramon Urias on the Infinity Day IL with a severe case of death. Don't go down looking when the Ripper's behind the plate. Eric Lauer racked up 11 Ks yesterday after 13 Ks his last outing. He has added some velocity this season, and it shows. Look at these overpowering fastballs, or as Lauer calls them, zoom balls. He actually names his pitches based on what he wants them to do. He's got a bullet pitch, a spin ball, and it may sound crazy, but hey, it works for him. Shane McClanahan was probably my filthiest starter of the day. Look at this stuff. The dude is overpowering with his fastball and then has nasty changeups, wicked sliders, and vicious curveballs. The dude is an absolute ace. And here's an overlay of his fastball and curveball and his slider and changeup, and you see what makes this so tough to hit. Sugar Shane stuff continues to impress me. On the relievers side, Jhoan Duran continues to be overpowering. Look at this 102-mile-an-hour fastball. Straight gas. Speaking of straight gas, check this out from Spencer Strider. Absolutely blowing hitters away with 99 and 100-mile-an-hour fastballs. He gave up no hits in 3 2/3 innings of work with 5 Ks. Completely overpowering hitters. But the highlight of the day was Clayton Kershaw breaking the Dodgers franchise strikeout record.
Clayton Kershaw, the Dodgers strikeout king.
He broke Don Sutton's long-standing record for the most Ks with the Dodgers and is now 3rd for the most strikeouts with any one team, behind Walter Johnson and Bob Gibson. Clayton Kershaw is an absolute legend. Look at these gorgeous Cooperstown curveballs. You can't hit them. Why would you want to? They're too pretty. You can see why hitters are only hitting 125 against his curveball, and they're only hitting 069 against his slider. That's really nice. You can see what makes those pitches so effective. He tunnels his curveball with this elevated fastball here. You can see why you might take that fastball, because you think it's that curveball that you just swung at in the dirt. And then here's a fastball and slider combo, and you can see why Kershaw had to add that slider, because it tunnels so well with a fastball either middle or down. Kershaw is a complete artist, and he's got to be a unanimous Hall of Famer, right? Be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments. Heck, one of my favorite moments of doing what I do was realizing that Kershaw knew I existed.
I don't throw this, but, when you see all, the pitching ninja pitches, you notice how all they're, two-seamers, so they're all, run-back two-seamers.
And now, my pitching ninja moment of zen. It's goofy Clayton Kershaw.
Just getting warmed up for tomorrow. It's part of the routine. It's getting loose. Yeah, with Possum's help.